So there are two ways you can solve this particular equation. The first way is you can just add the 11 halves over to the other side. And so if you do that, you're just going to take that 11 halves, always do the opposite of what it is. It's a subtraction, so you're going to use addition, and then add it to the other side. When you do this on the left-hand side, it will cancel, and on the right-hand side, you need to add fractions. In order to add fractions, you need a common denominator. And so you're going to look at both of these denominators, and you are going to use the smallest one and just go up from there. So 2 is the first number. Then you're going to say the next one will be 2 times 2, which is 4, 2 times 3, which is 6, and 2 times 4, which is 8. So 8 is actually your common denominator. And so whatever you multiply the denominator by to get that, you're going to multiply the numerator by to get that. So you have 13 over 8 plus now 44 over 8. And now you can add them. To add fractions, you just add the numerators because you've already figured out the denominator. So you already have your common denominator. We're going to have 13 plus 44. That is going to give us 57 over 8 as our answer. And you can convert that to a mixed number. If your teacher wants you to leave it as an improper fraction, you can leave it like that. If you need to convert it to a mixed number, you're going to use division. Divide the numerator by the denominator. And so you divide, your remainder just goes over your denominator. So either of these answers are exactly the same. The second way to do this is just to get rid of all your fractions together by finding that common denominator. And so if you look at the numbers 2 and 8, you're going to say, what is the smallest number that both of these numbers go into? And that, again, as we found on the first page, would be 8. They both go into the number 8. And so what we do with this 8 to get rid of our fractions is we multiply everything by 8. We're going to multiply each fraction by 8 and that variable by 8. And so then we have 8n minus, and when you're multiplying this guy, you can actually cancel your denominator out, do cross canceling. So go ahead and divide that 8 and 2, and you're left with just 4. And here you can divide the 8 and the 8, and you're left with just the 13 times 1. And so we have 8n minus 44 equals 13. And then we can just solve it by moving the number over, add 44 to both sides. That cancels out here. We're left with just 8n. Over here we have 57, and then we can divide both sides by that 8, and we have n equals 57 over 8, which is exactly what we found on the other way of doing it. So the two ways are you can just add the fraction over, find a common denominator, and solve, or you can multiply everything by the common denominator and then solve like a normal equation.